З тобою моя любов, ми дивимось на світ сумний.
I started writing the script in August 2021 when I was watching what was happening in Afghanistan, the fast takeover by the Taliban of Afghanistan as the Americans were pulling out. And I thought, well, what happens to the people there now? The people in Afghanistan have had 20 years of freedom, 20 years of education. What happens to the artists, the painters, the writers, the singers? What are they going to do? Well, they can't now freely express themselves. So I started looking at other regimes around the world, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Chad, regimes now and regimes in the past like Stalinist Russia, Nazi Germany, and the way artists and writers, thinkers, philosophers are targeted by regimes, art being the voice of freedom. So I then thought, well, what would happen to me? I've worked as an artist in freedom for 30 years. I've done exactly what I've wanted to do with my work, naked performance work, protest work, anti-war work, subversive work, and I have never feared reprisals. I've never thought I could be arrested. I've never been awake at night waiting for a knock on the door thinking, oh gosh, I said something against the government, that's it, I'm dead. So that was the starting point for the script. So we made the English version of the film around June, July 2022, edited in the September, and then we screened the film in London. It was a test screening, and one of the members of the audience was a human rights lawyer called Jason McHugh. Jason was launching his campaign in Kyiv, and it was called Payback for Ukraine, which is about taking the Wagner Group to the Court of Human Rights and reparations for Ukraine. And he asked if he could screen the film in Kyiv. I said, great. And then he introduced me to a producer he knew, Jane Aliva. And Jane had this idea of introducing me to Katerina Polishchuk. Katerina Polishchuk, also known as Patashka of Azovstal, is a singer. She joined the Ukrainian army and was captured by the Russians in Mariupol and was held as a prisoner of war for 4 months. They killed her fiancé, her friends, and she suffered all the indignities of a prisoner of war. She was released on a prisoner exchange program. She saw the film and said, I know this, I have this experience, can I be the voice of the film? So we had the script translated, and then Katerina was given 5 days leave because she was back on the front line, and she was in a studio in Kyiv, and I was on a Zoom call directing from London, and she and Nazar Graba and Jane Alieva are in a studio in Kyiv, and over a 3-day period we were recording Katerina's voice as she was reading the script, and as she poured her real life experience into the performance. So Katerina, is the voice that you hear in the film, and her performance is stunning. And at the end of the film, she sings the theme song, Children of the Brave. And she's an incredible performer, and she's 23 years old, and you can hear in her voice the weight of her experience, the gravitas, and everything she has endured during her captivity and being a soldier in a war zone.
З тобою моя любов, ми дивимось на світ сумний.